Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Lord Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts.
Archlector George.
And Harrison, the Adeptus Historical.
So starting with this episode, we are going to begin covering Before They Are Hanged, the second book in the original trilogy. We'll be covering The Great Leveler and Best Laid Plans. So, let's get started.
And before we get to anything else, we've got to give a big shout out to all of our guests that we've had over the last 3 weeks, which we did a couple of pre-recorded episodes, which you guys may have noticed because the editing might have been a little bit shoddy on one or two.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope you can forgive us and keep listening.
Yeah, Harrison's fault for that one.
I think we each had one to blame there, I think.
Except
you, Jeff. Yours was actually pretty good.
Yeah, mine was good.
No, Jeff's was good. Mine and yours were crap, Harrison, but Jeff's was actually pretty good.
Good job, Jeff.
Well, I tried.
Yeah, a shout out to all of our guests. It was the Bloody Niner, who's a long-term fan, and Sir Spaceman from the House of the Meme Maker meme page, which is absolutely fantastic. And we got to give a shout out to
Stephanie.
I think it's the first or the second meme of the week, or meming every chapter from House of the Meme Maker.
Oh, right. We gotta let people know that he's doing Before They Are Hanged, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In accordance with our reading of the of Before They Are Hanged, each of our listeners
We're all just so used to it, aren't we?
Each of our listeners shall contribute to one chapter on the House of the Meme Maker. Otherwise, off with your head.
Yeah, you all got to sign up. All right, you all got to sign up. It's basically required. But yeah, no, like George was. Mm-hmm.
The last guest was Stephanie, the Serpent of Talons, as well, and they all had really good views, really interesting viewpoints, and it's a lot to take in going forward. So
yeah, no, we want to thank everybody. Like you said, George, good job, well put, man.
Thank you, man.
Well put. Harrison, do you want to say anything about the guest episodes we did?
No, it just was really nice to kind of interact with the people who've been listening to us. It felt kind of weird to listen to them talk about our podcast, but it was a lot of fun and very insightful into different views.
Yeah, no, they all offered unique perspectives. I should apologize because I know I was like really drunk for at least a couple of them. So if I was slurring or hard to understand or cringy, just know I hate it more than you do. Okay. So.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
So, all right. So let's move on to our next segment, which we'll start off with the best meme of the week. George, you want to take it away?
Can you believe it, guys? It's Tamil Bor again.
Oh, what?
Praise him.
Praise him, the actual, like, the master meme maker.
Oh, damn.
It should be his official title, Mr. Tamil Bor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those that you just have to see. I can't explain it to you. So go and have a look on our website, circleoftheworld.com, .co.uk, whatever it is. And we'll have a look on there.
Nice.
Once I get it updated, which will probably be about in a week, which is good, which is when this episode comes out. So that's good.
You're doing good, George.
Doing great. You're doing great. All right, so let's move on. And we're starting Before They Are Hanged. You guys excited for this one?
Oh, fuck yes.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite books. All right, so our first chapter read through is The Great Leveler. We begin the book with the first chapter, and we are in the POV of the Dogman. The dozen have made it into England, and the Dogman's ahead of him doing the scouting work that he's known for. There is a persistent mist that's just surrounding the area, right? And it's making it difficult for the Dogman to scout properly. And that's already adding on top of his already frayed nerves.
And I love the description as well. Like, that is just a perfect, like, sensory description of, like, the way you smell the mist. You breathe it in, everything's quieter, everything's more eerie, and you just get on edge because you're just surrounded by this cloak of mysterious.
Mysterious mist. Harrison, were you going to say something?
I was gonna say, is that what it actually is like? Because I've actually never been out in mist for a long period of time. We get mist here, but it's like you just get up and go to work and there's mist out there, and then you know, then it's gone by the time you actually go outside. So
you've never been like you never
wandering through the mist?
You know?
No, it's never really been a thing.
You
don't
haven't
get
seen
that
the ocean, Harrison.
That's right. All he knows is like rivers and lakes and shit.
You bastards! I just saw the ocean.
That's right.
But I didn't fucking like swim through the mist. We were driving through it.
All right, Harrison, we get it.
You're right though. Whenever we're driving in the car and the car's like, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Fucking dog man.
Shit.
Okay, I take your point. Right enough.
Okay. So also is what's adding to Dogman's nerves is that they're in unfamiliar territory. And the Dogman half expects Bethod's scouts to kind of just pop out from behind a tree to stab him in the neck. But so he makes it to a river so he can grab a nice drink of water, a drink. And as he's gulping down the stagnant river water, he's looking around and he locks eyes with the dude. Well, actually, a corpse. Turns out it seems to be like a Union man with a spear sticking out of his back. And he whispers the name of the chapter, The Great Leveler.
Not the man laying down, the dog man. The dog
man. Yeah.
That would be creepy.
I could imagine like
a
Sam Raimi fucking directed version of Joe Abercrombie's books where that actually does happen and it's just like creepy and then nobody ever talks about it ever.
We just move right past it.
Yeah, just like okay, yeah, that's it. You just imagined that apparently.
Right. It's like when Logan spat fire and never addressed it again. I was like, okay. Yeah. Then he sees another corpse, and now Dogman, he's walking away. At this point, he's really just trying to book it. He's running away. He's hurrying away. He's not acting like a proper scout, goddammit. And he pays for it when something crashes into him and starts choking the life out of him. But it turns out it's only Black Dow.
He absolutely knew it was him. Come on.
He did not. He loves the Dogman, guys.
Yeah, he's like, Dogman, that's you. And then Dow.
Or maybe he was just trying to teach him a lesson about being an improper scout.
Maybe. And he wasn't surprised to hear that there were corpses back there because he takes Dogman to like a hill where the rest of the dozen are at, and they're surveying a valley that is literally littered with Union dead. Here we get to see Three Trees' penchant for battle tactics and how to best utilize the land, and almost engages in like a CSI-esque level of positing what happened here, right? He's just like,
yeah. You got like the Death Note music playing in the background. He's like, he would have got them here, and then he would have pushed them here, and then he would have sent the cavalry in here, and then sent the archers here. It's like,
and he's like, who are you? Who was like, what the hell's going on?
But before we get to that, oh my god, I love this interaction between Black Dow and Dogman, where it's like, I saw some bodies up there. Some bodies, is it? It's like, yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them, is it?
Black Dow's just having a good time. He's like, you're funny.
Yeah.
He thinks he's actually joking.
I think there's been a battle. A battle, really?
No, you don't
just
say.
Like, it's like a Monty Python sketch. It really is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And Dogman's still recovering from like getting fucking choked out. He's like, what the fuck?
Oh god! Just the start of this book is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm, it is,
and it only goes uphill from here.
Oh,
and
it does.
I will say as well with this little intro part, this whole part sets up very poetically different themes and things that happen within this, especially the North area, and the like themes of the book. And I really appreciate that. Obviously, I don't want to get too spoilers with it, but damn mist or there's just some good foreshadowing and laying out of different things that might happen.
For sure.
All in like a page and a half.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's great. Oh my god.
And well, getting back, Three Trees, he knows that this battle doesn't mean that it's the end of the war for the Union, because he knows the Union has a shitload of people, and he knows that they're all on their way. So we get a bit of a time jump later, and Three Trees and Dogman, they're walking towards the gate of Ostenhorn, I believe, in order to speak to their chief, which in this case would be the Lord Governor. They are met by a proud and haughty young cunt.
Another gatekeeper.
Yeah.
Another fucking gatekeeper, and this one's a douchebag. And he explains to the kid that they're offering their services to the union, and the kid is just such a prick. He's just like,
He's turning everyone away. Like everyone's just
Yeah.
like, we've met our quota for the day, thank you.
And he's like, well, yeah, no thank you, but we know that Three Trees isn't going to take that kind of fucking answer. And that's where we end the chapter. Any notes for you guys? I have a couple. But any notes from you?
Yeah, for me, I really like the little subtle things of the group dynamic. Like they've never been to, you have Blacked Out and Dogman scouting out and ahead, and probably Grim was out there too. And then you have, because of the sneaky boys. And then you have like the fact that only Three Trees has been outside, and maybe Grim have been outside of the north, which I thought was an interesting little fact. But the Dogman knows how to speak, or roughly at least, English.
English.
Common.
Speaks Union.
Speaks American.
He knows how to speak Common or whatever.
Common tongue, the Union tongue.
I wonder if he learned, because Logan does too. I wonder if, since Three Trees was one of the first people that got inside, if Three Trees had taught them how to speak Common, because obviously Three Trees has been around a little bit, but Three Trees has also not been to Midderland or something, or even he's probably only been to England, seeing as he says, he said there are tons of people. The union's not finished yet. There are a ton of people across the sea. Like he's never been over there. So it just was interesting to think about that, and that's probably also why he brought Dogman with him, since he's the only other person who can speak Common or at least understand it.
Right.
I think that's it. This is like a fantastic representation of like a barrier in language. Just you can't communicate with somebody the way that you want to, and everything that they interpret isn't going to be exactly what's really being said.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows if that's actually what happens? It's off on the Dogman's
that
point
guy
of view.
could be perfectly fucking earnest, and Three Trees just takes it the wrong way, and Dogman takes it the wrong way, and we wouldn't even know.
You all right there, Harrison?
No, I just thought it was funny. It's just a funny thought. You're right. It's just, the guy's like, actually, you can come in. He's like, I can't come in. Are you serious? And then they just walk away. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever.
That would be hilarious if that was the case. That he's actually really nice.
I mean, that theory does kind of hang on a thread, because they do a lot of like metaphors and stuff, and they do seem to understand those as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, they do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But we can count on you, George, for those kind of theories. We love it.
all the bullshit.
George, do you have any notes or anything for the chapter before we rate it?
I just love this guy that's sitting at a desk with two brawny dudes stood over him, and he's just like, no, fuck off.
It sounds like such a British thing to do. Am I correct or am I wrong?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And at least they don't respect the queue. You've got to respect get in the fucking line. Doesn't matter if you're the main character, you get in the line, bro.
Joe should just write a whole chapter of them waiting in line.
No, it pisses me off to no end. Seriously,
I believe it. I like my couple notes. Unless George, you have more to add. Like how ridiculously strong Dao is to just straight up like quickly just murder Dogman's throat and then be like, oh wait, you're my friend. And I like when they were walking up, when they walk up to the douche in the desk that he made a face like they stank like shit, and Dogman was offended that the goofball thought he stank. He's like, "What? I watched specifically for this."
That part is funny.
And then the other part that I love is like once they realize like the guy's being like such a cunt, Dogman thinks it's a good thing we left Dao behind.
He lost his head.
Dude, that guy would have got stabbed, and then we would have had to like die. We would have died. So, what do you guys rate that chapter?
Harrison?
I'm gonna go with a 4 out of 9. I think it's a a good intro chapter. I think it's probably better than the last intro chapter. We get a little bit of world establishing, and then I just also like all the interactions that Dogman has. How he views the world is pretty funny. But it's a pretty tame chapter. They don't actually really get anywhere in it. They're just like, oh, we're in England. Oh, we can't talk to anybody. Okay, catch us later. So.
Okay, George.
I reckon I'm going to give this one a 5, and I think it's quite interesting here how he starts this book with the boys, in the north, because they only had 4. They only had 4 chapters in the last book,
so sad.
And now suddenly they're just like a big focus, and them getting into the Union and all that just becomes a very big part of the story.
Yeah,
and I love the way it just shifts gears, and we don't get anything from the big 3 for 2 chapters.
That's true. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. I mean, I think he's like Abercrombie's course correcting, right? Because like you said, they only got 4 or something like that the previous book. So he's like, I'm gonna give them the goods.
Yeah, and what a chapter! I mean, there's just so many good bits. The horror scene at the beginning when he's trying to run away, and you can see it again. You can see this like a TV show or a film where this is like really lonely, and he's just trying to get out of this situation that he's in, and then Black Doubt has to choke him, and it's just like such a good scene.
I would love a POV of that. You can't see who's trying to kill him, and then it like comes into focus, and then he realizes.
Bodies, you say?
Battle, is it?
Battle what?
Corpse of who?
Guys, we're digressing already. All right. Okay. What do you rate this chapter, Jeffrey?
I'll give it a 4 and a knuckle out of 9 fingers. I'm trying to split the difference between you guys so no one feels left out. Good intro chapter. Not a lot happened, but enough happened where, it keeps your interest and you're piqued immediately by what's going to happen. You already see that Bethod is out here whooping ass. It's like, uh-oh. So, 4 and a knuckle from me. So, we should move on to our character spot.
Yes, which... oh, we forgot about this, boy. I am going to not say the gatekeeper guy. I know you guys like him, but I was thinking should actually be
the corpse.
No, the Lord Governor Mead.
Yeah, I think Mead's good because he only appears in this chapter for the whole book. So,
the next chapter, right? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So we should put the character spot at the end, right?
No, we can do it now.
Yeah, we can do it now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Our character spot.
Cut everything up with. Sorry. Go on, Harrison.
I gotta wait for Jeffrey to calm down.
I'm sorry. It's just so funny. Harrison's always getting interrupted and shit. I love it.
It's all good. All
right, go ahead.
Our character spot for the week is going to be Lord Governor Mead. He is really sad in this section we're about to get into. He pops up. It's the only time in the entire series that this particular Lord Governor Mead pops up, and he is it's kind of heartbreaking because he lost his sons, and he walked out with pride to fight Bethod and got absolutely dick slapped, and he. And
that's one way of putting it. Yeah,
everyone's saying like, oh, he was such an idiot. God, he shouldn't have done it. But whenever he talks about his pride that he takes in his homeland, that the people protect to trust him, it makes sense why he made that call. And it is kind of sad to see that he basically just lost everything in one go. They left. It's kind of like the classic. They left on a sunny day and nobody returned. It's just and then he's given up hope too. He doesn't even want to fight. He's completely broken, man.
Yeah.
And it is really tragic, isn't it? Like this guy, he probably did what he thought was best. He does explain like, what would happen if we just waited for help. Everyone would think that we're weak and then we'd lose control, which is absolutely right.
Right.
So the guy is just a victim of the system. We live in a society and all that.
Oh, we live in a society, man.
I just appreciate how Joe took the time to write out this guy's whole little monologue. It wasn't like, oh, you're a stupid idiot. And he's like, well, I had to do what I had to do. Like, he actually, instead of just saying, I did what I had to do, he like drew it out into a way that made like a whole little character out of this small scene. And I think it's one of the better character spots that's so small that we don't get much else from him. I really appreciate that amount of effort he put into such a small moment.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey?
Mm. Well, yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, the guy, on one hand, it's like, yeah, he's got to defend his land. On the other hand, he did not follow orders. Orders is orders.
Yeah, he didn't follow the orders. That is true.
Yeah. That was a lucky number 11 reference. If anybody's watched that movie, but I do.
Jeff, you're so old.
Whatever. Yeah, I like that you could see that the guy's like despondent. I don't like that, but I mean, it's like he does portray grief. He Abercrombie portrays like that numb, that shocking grief in a way, and then like he does kind of come back to life when Burr's like, why didn't you follow orders? And he's like, what was I supposed to do? Blah blah blah. And then like as soon as Burr like screams at him, he's like, my God, I lost my kids. It's like, oh, poor Mead.
I know that.
So, yeah, that's our character spot.
On to the second chapter.
We're up to a high note, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, right. We're
it's gonna be a pretty negative episode.
Next chapter is best laid plans. This read through keeps us in England, this time inside the Lord Governor's Hall in Ostenhorn. Here we're looking at it from West's point of view, and it's him, Lord Marshal Burr, and Lord Governor Mead, who isn't doing too well, as we just talked about. And Burr isn't happy either, because apparently Mead had sent his sons to make battle against Bethod, even though he had received the king's orders not to engage, just to raise the damn army and to buttress the defenses. Mead said he didn't give a shit about those orders, that he needed to defend his people. Like, what else was he supposed to have done? Well, Burr yells that he should have followed his fucking orders. And then Mead, he falls apart again at this, he's despairing the loss of his 3 sons. And Burr, he says, like, he pities the sons, but he doesn't pity Mead. Although he doesn't really, he doesn't look to remove him from his position, He knows that Mead is still important to the stability of Ostenhorn and, by extension, England. Mead is to coordinate with West to give him a list of units that are still fit for action. And then a bit of another time jump later, and we're in a room where the commanders of the Union forces are meeting to describe and talk about their plans, right? And West is trying to teach them basically about local geography.
Oh man, I love this bit. I love the first half of this chapter is just like it's very, very. There's a lot of lore heavy stuff. It's setting up what's happening in England, how the war's going. We just get a really good sense of that, and then we move on. And this bit is like the
best. He's trying to teach them about the local geography while simultaneously curbing the desire to throttle Lord Smun's fucking because he's over here, he's yawning, he's talking about like, okay, so this is the river and it splits like this, blah blah blah, and then all he hears is a he's like, what?
What a good name this Smund has.
It kind of sounds like cunt.
Yeah.
Smund cunts,
Lord
Every time
cunt.
I hear Smund, I hear Lord Cunt. It's fun.
Yeah, Lord Cunt. So then it's Burr's turn to address the room, right? And he has to basically manage the rivalry between Generals Croy and Polder, and he has to manage the expectations of and the safety of Crown Prince Ladislaw. So he's
and this is where if you listen to the audiobook, it's funny in reading, but it's way better when you're listening to the audiobook. This is where the hilariosity of Ladislaw begins.
He said hilariosity.
There's so many lines here that we could pick on. Seriously, there's so many.
So yeah, like you said, Jeff, Burr kind of explains, what happened and how they lost the Battle of Blackwell. He's like, it's a nothing town, and now it's abandoned. Now, all of England's forces got crushed, basically, and with hardly any survivors even. And Ladislaw goes, "They put up a good fight, though, eh?" It's like, what?
He's like, no, got their asses whipped.
My favorite one is when he's like, Marshal Burr is explaining to Ladislaw what he's got to do, and he's like, "So we are not to pass beyond the river?" And it's like, "Indeed not, Your Highness." And he's like, "Our role is to be then purely a defensive one."
Oh my god!
I have to say, poor Marshal Burr does not get to be his man, you know.
Yeah, no, but Burr does save it, right? You know, he does the whole like, but Prince Ladislaw, your position, your role is the most important one. You will be ensuring that we won't get like bit in the ass or something, you know, whatever. He makes it like, and then Ladislaw's like, of course, capital, whatever the fuck.
It does say capital, of course, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The hinge, of course. Capital.
Capital. Mm-hmm. and then we see it. We know that like Croy and Polder, you know, we could see that there, you know, there's a rivalry there, right? Like Croy is the orderly, organized dude. Polder's the flamboyant, you know,
cavalry man,
you know. And you know, we could tell they don't like each other. They jostle their way out of the doorway. After everyone leaves, you know, West and Burr talk a little bit of shit about them, right? And we get a little backstory on Croy and Polder because we learned that Polder is an old friend of the Archlector Salt, and Croy is the cousin of High Justice Morovia. So when it came time to name a new Lord Marshal, the Close Council couldn't choose between the two, so they settled on Burr as a compromise. So that was a nice little bit to know, like, oh yeah, cool. So they were close to being Lord Marshal, but then since obviously, you know, Salt and Morovia have that pissing match, they can never get anything done.
And it's interesting to see how Burr has sort of like learned how to play the nobles.
Yeah,
because you see a bit of that in his scene in The Blade itself as well, where he's, you know, he's sort of explaining to West, like, yeah, people are going to see you like this, but you just got to not take any shit, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't let
Because
them walk.
Burr has been through the same thing. Like, they think the same way about him as being provincial as they do about West for being a commoner.
Yeah,
it's interesting too because Burr is to tag back a little bit here. You know, Meade basically says, "Oh, the king's orders, huh? That's who I follow." No, I was the close council orders. You mean, which I think is a really good subtle hint at world building, basically pointing out how this, along with the fact that Burr, even though he's nobility, is a noble from the provinces and is thus considered lesser than. And so I like how there's this stigma that Midderland has with its provinces, which does have consequences later on. It's just, I like it's that subtle world building aspect there.
That's true. Good point, Harrison. And then we talk some more shit about Ladislaw, of course. And here Burr drops the bomb that West is to be on Ladislaw's staff. West is horrified by this, but Burr needs someone he can trust to rein in the prince, you know? And Ladislaw asks for him directly. So what Burr does is he rewards him with the promotion. He's now a colonel.
No.
Yeah. Yay. And then we have another
doesn't
little
cover the guilt, though.
No, it does not. And then we have another little small time jump. And West and Burr, they're writing out the city gates, right? To supposedly inspect the army, I believe, or something. And they're shooting the shit when Burr decides out of nowhere just to burst into a full-on fucking gallop, right?
So I used to love feeling the wind in my hair and just goes, yeah, let's go.
I'm out. And then, you know, he's forcing West to have to try to keep up with them, and they leave their guards behind. Right? And it's all fun and games. They're all having fun. You're like, oh, yeah, it's so much fun. Until they get fucking yanked off their horses by a rope tied between trees. And now Wes is disoriented, right? But he realizes that they're being dragged away, and they're being dragged away by fucking Northmen. And Wes is like, oh, shit, Bet scouts have found them. And obviously they mean to murder them. And then he tries to call out for the guards that are following way the fuck behind, and then a hand clasps over West's mouth, and West bites the fucking hand, you know, drawing blood. And it turns out, that it's our boys, Three Trees in the gang. And West had bitten the hand of Dow.
Yeah, that's not a good man to bite, is it?
No, and West is practically shitting his pants right at the sight of Dow. And then Tall Duru just walks in and he just plops Bird down like a little fucking baby. And West can't handle the sight of him either. He's like, this guy's giant.
Like a sack of turnip.
Yep. Yeah, just. And then they wonder which one is Burr and West can understand Northern. So he's just like, it's me. I'm Burr. But they don't believe him. They're like laughing at him. Like Three Trees is like, Dow, you said they had no balls. And Dow's like, nah, I said they had no brains. And then basically they only had this opportunity to talk to Burr face to face. And so they had to take it. So, they apologize Three Trees apologizes for the rough handling. And he lets them know, that, they mean to join up with them. And Burr looks at West and he knows right where to place him. And that basically ends the chapter. And you see West just like being horrified. He's like, I got to take care of the Crown Prince. And now these fucking Northerners, oh my God. Are you guys still there?
Yeah. I mean, is it?
I had some notes about kind of the lore aspects here.
Yeah, fire away.
You guys, pew 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 pew. Mm-hmm. So one, we get the whole thing where the kind of the size comparison here. Burr says that they outnumber their enemy 5-1 or more, so he's very certain of that. And we know the Northmen have about, like I said before, about 20,000 men, and they haven't really lost anything in Blackwell. It's crazy because they probably wiped out a significant amount, seeing as Burr is genuinely like upset by that he has to deplete the amount of men he has for that. So if I had to guess roughly, there's probably about, this is crazy, but it makes sense, about 10,000 men that got wiped out by Bethod in that battle, whether routed or captured or killed. And then Ladislaw takes 10,000 men himself. And then the rest of the army, he says he splits in two. So about 40,000 each, which in total, you're looking at about 5 times or more the size after he has to split up all his forces, because Burr has to take the men that was lost and re-garrison the towns and the cities and the ports and stuff. To make sure that it's all garrisoned, because they rode out with their entire strength, which definitely would not have been meager. So if I had to guess, it's in total, and these are rough numbers, obviously, but Bethod has about 20, and the Union in total has about 100,000, but both of them are not accounting for garrisons and things like that. So as we know, Bethod makes very good use of those numbers. But I just thought that was a kind of crazy thought. When he says 5-1, I was like, damn.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of men, which explains why the logistics are so shit.
That's true. Do you have any other notes, Harrison?
Other than... There was one other thing. George, you have anything to say?
I'm sorry, no, good. I like the end of the chapter. It is interesting to see how they meet, and they handle it. And West does step up and just say, like, yeah, I'm willing to take the clout, even though it's ridiculous.
Right. You know what I like? Go ahead.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
No, after you, Jeff.
Oh, thank you, sir. In that interaction, I like that. Like Wes is like looking at Dow and Three Trees before he knows that they're not gonna kill him, and he says something to the effect of like, "Oh, this isn't the Northmen you see that are homeless in the streets of Adua, and these aren't I forgot what the other."
He said they people begging for work at his father's farm.
Yeah, he's like, no, these motherfuckers. These are the Northmen that are like haunt your nightmares.
Yeah, he's come to grips with it.
Yeah. He's like, oh, so this is what we're fighting. Oh.
Yeah, the only other...
I never thought about
that. Harrison, you were going to say something?
Yeah,
well, George was, but...
He said, I was going to let him finish, but he just said that. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. The only other lore tidbit here is we didn't talk about the plan that they have for the military. Their plan is, like I said, split the main body in half for Croy and Polders. They're going to go up the eastern side, which is more populated, has the main road. It's easier to maneuver that many men around, and try to push Bethod out, and then have Ladislaw just sit on the river in the west side of the province and protect it, make sure that Bethod doesn't cut them off or anything like that. Which is a good plan, seeing as Burr is using his numbers in a very effective way. But I think he's a little outmatched by Bethod in this way.
Yeah, because Bethod is a stone cold killer. Well, like a genius almost, right? He's really good.
Even Logan that we saw in the last book just idolized the way that he actually does tactics.
Yeah.
When he was explaining to West. And it's surprising that West hasn't really brought any of that knowledge that he was given.
Yeah.
Well, he can't really, though. He can't.
We know about the Carls and the Thralls and all that, and he's just like, but there's some bigger dudes behind the hill, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I think at that point, he is not willing to take command. He's still like, oh man, I have to just follow orders. He doesn't really step up at all until later on.
Yeah. That's a whole nother discussion.
No, that's true. That's true.
But it's good setup. Like, there's so much foreshadowing that's just woven into this that we can't talk about.
No, I agree. And you know what's frustrating for me? Because either at this, he had the opportunity when he meets the Northmen, and even throughout the book, because he hangs out with them. He doesn't no one mentions our previous chief is Logan Ninefingers or was, and he's like, I met that fucker. Doesn't even, and he's like right there.
Well, he doesn't know. He denied it, didn't he?
No, they didn't even. They didn't even say it.
What do you mean? When they met at the dinner, yeah, he did. He was like,
he
some
said,
northern warrior, the Bloody Nine or something that bathed in the blood of infants and that, and he was like, no, I never met him.
He's like, you got me. Ooh. Oh, right. Okay. All right. Hey, he could have just said, I know a 9-fingered Northman. I met him.
Yeah, that would have been weird though in the moment.
No, I mean it's no one brings it up. I guess why would they? I guess. Yeah. Look at me just being silly. All right. So, what are your ratings on this one, guys?
I reckon I'll give this one a 5. I like there's so much to it. Like, there's so many different takes. With Mead, and Mead is such a tragic character. It was just displayed how much of a shit show is going on in Angland. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows even what power he has. It's just incredible. And then when they get kidnapped, and there's it is funny. This whole bit where they're especially blacked out. He's so restrained. He just has so much restraint, doesn't he?
yeah. For blacked out, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, he just fucking bit me, the little shit. Absolutely.
Oh man. Well,
5 out of 9.
If you're a first time reader, you're gonna love Dow's and West's interactions in this book. If you don't already, Harrison.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was gonna give it a 5 out of 9 fingers as well. Just a little bit more exposition, you could say, some lore building, as Harrison said. And I'm I really got excited when the Northmen are already meeting Burr and West. Nice, awesome. But but again, not much move forward in terms of the plot. So, but we did get Prince Ladislaw. Capital. By the way,
rating...
you got to do it, Harrison. By the way,
you're my man. Burr is not my man. Captain Luther. You're my man. That's stupid.
Oh.
Our role is to be a purely defensive one.
Oh shit.
If you haven't read the audiobook, that's the perfect line for that. It's so perfect. Oh god, he just comes across so weak and like a little puppy, which we find out he's not. But
He's not.
So I would rate this one 6 out of 9. I really like the subtle world building that Joe is very good at doing. I really like the tactics view on this, and I really enjoy all the characters that are introduced. All of the characters that are introduced are just really good. They all have a little add something to the story. Nothing's wasted. So I just enjoy the the more exposition chapters anyway. So
okay, nice, good. So that's those are chapters that we read through for this episode. We'll move on now to our community interaction segment. Harrison, you wanna take the lead on this one?
Jeff, you sound so bored.
So
you sound so bored.
No, I'm not bored. I'm actually seething. I'm sorry. I didn't get that across. Sorry.
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry. Yep.
We are finally done with our favorite non-POV characters. We have our championship round where we picked all the winners, whether or not we wanted them to be winners, and put them into the poll. And we had Vitari, Archlector Salt, Artie, Baez, Crummicky Fail, and Whirrun a Bly.
Whirrun a Bly.
And somehow, thankfully, Baez won.
Yep. Baez won, everyone. So
but Whirrun was really fucking close. And
fuck Whirrun. Continue.
Whirrun was pretty close. Some would say this is how close it was. Whirrun a Bly had 190 votes, and Baez had 152, and Baez still won. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. That's ridiculous.
That's how you know that Whirrun a Bly. I think our listeners are just doing this to fuck with us. You know, I put the fucking angry eyes in the poll. Everyone knows how we felt about it, but why? What is that? You telling me that 190 people liked Whirrun a Bly more than Vitari, Archlector Soul, Artie, Baez, and Crummicky Bill? What? Because he's fucking funny? What the hell?
Because he's got a big sword.
He's cool. He made a cheese sandwich. Fuck you guys. Now, if you do it just to fuck with us, it's not a funny joke. Do I not funny. That again?
It's not fucking funny.
It's not funny.
Not a fucking fan. All right. People that vote for Whirrun a Bly are the ones that go through a midlife crisis and buy a fucking sports car because they have a small dick. Fuck these fucking cunts for whores.
And Crummicky Bell almost lost to Logan's pot. That's what we know. We're just being dicked with. All right. Yeah, we got it.
Well, in fairness, I mean, you did put a pot as an option, so.
I did. I shot myself on the foot for that one.
Yeah, you
I did forgot Japo as well.
I know. Okay, guys, chill out. Okay.
Right, we're supposed to yell at the Whirrun voters, not Harrison.
Yeah, take it easy.
Fucking Whirrun voters, fucking morons. Jesus Christ. I mean, like again,
leave him alone. Leave him alone.
No. All right, maybe, but fuck him. Baez won. Baez won. That's it.
As he should. Baez, the fucking superior overlord of us all.
Yeah, right. The first of the fucking Magi.
Anyways, we really did enjoy doing the polls overall. It was very entertaining.
So
we're gonna keep doing.
We had a lot of fun, absolutely chatting shit about people who vote for Whirrun a fucking Bly.
It's not that Whirrun a Bly is a bad character. It's the fact that compared to these other choices, that's the fucking issue.
Right, like this poll.
You beat Black Cow?
Oh my god! Don't remind me. These polls made me hate Whirrun a Bly, and I liked him as like, oh, he's a good, he's a great fighter. Cool. Some little one-liners, great. And people are over here like riding his cock, like Jesus.
True.
Anyways, we love you guys, and we're going to continue to do polls, just not of the favorite POVs, because we've covered almost all of them, except for Japo, which I'm sure he would have gotten to the final round and still lost. So, not the end of the world.
So, get ready for more arguments in the future.
Or me just talking down to people.
And just to be clear, Whirrun a Bly is disqualified. Like, Baez just wins. That's it.
Yeah. Just remember, Baez won. All
There's
right?
no democracy here.
No, it's
just us three.
It's just the closed council.
That's it. That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you all know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and your support really does mean a lot to us.
Join us next week as we cover questions and the wounds of the past.
And make sure you follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, on Twitter, we're on Reddit, and we've got our own website. It's circleoftheworld.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any podcast app that you use. And please make sure to rate and review this podcast as it helps us spread our reach. Thank you all again for listening.
A right set of arseholes, you reckon?